Hello, my name is Scott Whittle. I'm the technology trainer for Leon County Schools District with Technology and Information Services. I'd like to welcome you today to part 4 of our Skyward video training series. Today we'll be focusing on viewing and printing your online pay stubs. Let's go ahead and get started. In our previous video, in our first one, we covered logging into Skyward, so we're going to go ahead and get logged into the system here, and then we will walk you through how to view your electronic paychecks. Now, when you first log in, the window will open up a secondary window. If it does not, your pop-up blocker is interfering, and you'll need to disable that or allow the location to permanently have access to pop-up windows so that you can see your secondary screen. As you land on the dashboard page, you will see your navigation bar up here at the top. And the first thing we would like to do before we come in and do anything is always verify our information, make sure we are logged in as ourselves. Up at the top, you should see your name in here. Now we're using a scrambled information, so none of this information is real. But if you come down and go into employee information, we will be able to see the personal information section, and that's where we're going to go. So when we click that, we'll see our information for our phone on here. And then under the address, we will be able to verify our home address. It's very important that you have this information accurate. If you have moved or anything has changed, then that needs to be notified so that we can get this accurate, because that affects many things, including benefits and other stuff that could cause a problem. So always make sure this is accurate. Now, what we're going to do for the purpose of checking our payroll, it's possible that your payroll has been collapsed. So you hit the little button on the side to expand it. And we're going to go into the check section. Under the check section, you will see a listing of each of the checks that you've issued, including the date, the check number, the gross wages, and the net amount. If you have individual checks that may have been issued out for other purposes, those will be listed down in here also. But your basic checks that come as part of your direct deposits will be listed in here. Now we can do two things. You can expand this check, allowing you to see all of the check's details, and then we can look at each of those pieces of information here. Now, for the purpose of this, I'm kind of crunching the window down on purpose, so some of this is sliding off because I'm shrinking this down. But you would be able to see all this information, including the basic teacher salary, any reading supplements, all of that would be included in here. And you can see each of your deductions that are part of the check, and then any of the benefits, and then the continuing list. And we can come in and crunch those down. Now, if we would like to, we can actually use our export feature, which I'm going to slide this over a little bit here because of the window I'm scrunching, and it is cutting off some of my screen. So over here, we have some additional options, including exporting. This will allow us to send it out to Excel if we want to keep a chart of this in Excel and manipulate information on our own. Or we can go ahead and have this as a printer-friendly page that we can print just a listing of this if we want. Now what we're going to do is actually show the check. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to select this particular check, and I'm going to ask it to show me the check. We see right here on that right side, and I'm going to shrink this back down just to keep it on our screen here for us. Make sure it's all on one page, and we're going to take a look at that check. Now we see all of this information that is available, and this is the check as your pay stub. You can see all the relevant information on a single sheet of paper, so you can check that very easily. And then if you wish to print it, you see a print button. Now, one thing you need to keep in mind is that when you hit print in Skyward, it does not send the job to your printer. It sends it into an electronic format of a PDF. So we'll show you that. So when I click print, it'll ask me what I want on that check. In this case, do I want to leave off the Social Security number, my last four, or print it? If I choose print, I'm required to type in my Social Security number in order to verify that I am legitimately this person, and that's allowed. I do not recommend that, because if you ever misplace this, you have your Social Security number on it. We're going to leave it off and hit print, and you'll see that it goes to a queue as it converts it into a PDF. I'm going to click to get in here, and you'll see that this check is running in a PDF as it processes it. Once it finishes, you'll get a little refresh here, and as soon as it does, you'll see it'll change. There it is, and completed, and it'll let you know. And when I click display report, you're going to get a large screen You can see here, I'll bring it over. It'll bring up a full screen version of your check that you can then send to the printer. All of that information is on here. I can scroll down and see everything on the page, just like we saw on the other screen. It's now in a PDF format. You can either come in and you can hit print at this point, and then just your standard printing process would come into application, and you would send it to whatever printer you needed to get a hard copy of it. Okay, so I'm going to close this. And so we have on here this list. These will stay here. You do not have to open them up and print them each time. If for some reason, I'm going to close all these out. If I wanted to look at this again, I can go back to my print queue here, and it'll keep that in that list and tell me what day I ran that, and it'll hold this job for as long as I want. If I no longer want it there, then I have the delete option here. Whichever one I have selected, which I only have one currently, then it'll say delete, and I can get rid of that record. They are automatically deleted after 2 days. If you have not done that, they do not stay here permanently. But if you're working with them over and over, you don't have to keep running the print each time. They will store them there for a couple days. All right, so we can go back, and that covers all of the information that we have on our checks. So at any time, if you need to verify those, you have them right here.